Hi, I'm your host Lucy, and this is
Zeil.
and welcome to Lingering Ghosts. And this is gonna be our third episode. I think this might be our first three-parter
Yeah, our
because
second episode.
like you can't put two yappers in the same room.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And today we're gonna be talking about the Milwaukee Cannibal or monsters, like we did last time, which was Jeffrey Dahmer. And like I said, I want to thank the anonymous person that submitted a Google form for this case, which was awesome. And so, disclaimers for this case: it will include cannibalism, pedophilia, necrophilia, mutilation of body parts, and more. So, if you can't handle any of these topics, please go take care of yourself and join us on our next session. We have our weekly sessions live on Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. and they be posted on YouTube whenever I get to editing them,
Yeah.
because I actually didn't post last week's episode yet
You
because
haven't?
I haven't. I had a lot of things to do. Okay, bro.
Mhm.
And so yeah, let's let's get started. So last time, if I remember correctly, Jeffrey Dahmer, he was hired as a mixer at the Milwaukee chocolate factory.
Okay.
So like Willy
A
Wonka
mixer?
style, like I think he mixes chocolate
Okay, that sounds like a pretty
together.
cool job, honestly. I would like
mixing
that job. A
chocolate.
mixer? A chocolate mixer.
So he would work 11 to 7 a.m., 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
6 nights a week with Saturday evening off. So shortly after starting this job, Jeffrey Dahmer, he would like be propositioned by another man while reading at the library.
Mhm.
So how it worked was like this stranger threw a note at Jeffrey Dahmer being like to perform some fellatio on him.
Oh, okay. Fellatio. Like I think they did in bathroom stalls like in the 80s, like the code they would use. Okay. That's pretty
So he didn't respond to this proposition, and this incident stirred up a lot of fantasies of like him being controlling a dominant
Mhm.
uh, that he developed as a teenager. So here's the thing: I don't know if I talked about it or if you remember. So Jeffrey Dahmer has this fantasy. It's either him or his victims
Mhm.
that we will later learn about, where he would want to
Render them
like
fully unconscious.
yeah, and well, it's not render them fully unconscious, but he wants to fuck someone that's like completely unconscious or completely submissive under his will, and
Yikes.
like they're like brain dead almost, or like they're just mindless.
Right.
And so he has like this really big fantasy about it. And so yeah, it's a little scary when you think about it. Or he wants to be a victim to that, and it's like, oh, okay.
He wants to be a victim to that?
I don't know if I should use the word victim, but like he wants to be rendered unconscious as someone to fuck him
I see.
conscious. But like I was talking about, I was actually talking
You were
to my,
talking about this with somebody?
I was talking to this with my roommate. I was like, hey, would that be considered rape because you're being fucked unconscious? But then he gave consent technically before, didn't he? Because he wants to be. But I don't know. I don't want to get into the statistics of it.
Yeah,
You know?
that sounds strange.
Yeah. He's let's say he's silly. You know, like that's the best way I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it. So he would start familiarizing himself with gay bars and gay bathhouses and bookstores, and he would steal male mannequins from the store, which would briefly use for like sexual stimulation. Like
That's really weird. The mannequins, those are so like
I don't know if like
pale and
like hold on. Let's see.
bless you.
Thank you.
That's how you sneeze.
That's how I
Sorry,
sneeze.
I didn't even say it like that. You sneeze funny. There we go.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
Anyway,
I feel harassed when you say that.
it's fine.
But
Some people have funny sneezes. You have a funny sneeze.
thank you.
No problem, bro.
So, Dahmer's grandmother, right? So here's the thing. Back then, I don't know if they had like sex dolls. You know what I mean? So
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know either, cause
So I mean, I feel like if they would have, he probably would have gone for that instead of the hard ass mannequin from a store.
yeah, I don't know, man. So his grandmother would discover this item in his closet and like be like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Throw this shit out," and he did, right? And so in 1985, Dahmer would frequently go to these bathhouses and he would later describe them as being relaxing places because it's a bathhouse, right?
Yeah.
So he would say, I trained myself to view. Oh my God, this is so disgusting. And I quote basically, I
Okay.
trained myself to view people as objects of pleasure instead of as people.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't know if that's not good.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's a
Ah,
really crazy thing. That's a really insane
ah,
thought to have as a human being.
okay. He's just like a little silly
Well, I
guy.
mean, if he was willing to kill animals, I mean, it's not that big of a leap.
Yeah, like
Because clearly he didn't
him.
really care about the animals that much. And you are an
Yeah.
animal. We are animals. You know what I mean? You know what I
I
mean?
would,
You know what I
I
mean,
would not be like, excuse me.
You're an
I'm gonna
animal.
let out my inner jaguar out, bruh.
No,
Hashtag show
bro.
my full
Shut up. Quit
spirit.
saying you and Maria about the hashtags.
Well, I actually started, and then she started picking it up for me.
Oh yeah, she got it from you, but I feel like she says it more than you. I think.
Yeah, she does it more than me now, and I'm like, oh my god. But no, bro. I made a joke with Kira about like the jaguar thing. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna show you my real
It's gonna come
jaguar
out.
in bed. I was like,
No.
not in our dorm, girl, and so basically, um, he would he would administer sleeping pills to his partners
hmm
and give them liquids laced with sedatives, and he would wait for them to fall asleep before performing sexual acts on them. So, like I said, this plays into the part where
Yeah,
he's
but
like interested in fucking people like that are unconscious, and I'm like,
but it would definitely be rape because I don't think the other people knew.
yeah,
They
yeah.
definitely they
Obviously,
didn't know
this is
this.
rape.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
rape. But I'm talking about when Jeffrey Dahmer himself
if when he wanted it.
wanted to be
Oh, okay. I think
unconscious.
it's consensual. Then.
Yeah,
Just
it's just
weird. It's
like
just kind of weird, bro.
I
Pretty
mean, like
weird.
you know, if
A little weird, but
if you're into that kinky shit,
everybody's got
I
their
mean,
thing.
I guess you
Yeah.
know, I'm just gonna side eye you.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We were talking about the foot fetish killer
hmm
last time. That was our last case, and we were. I'm just gonna say I gave him weird looks when I was reading. I was like,
Yeah, because like I mean I don't want to. You don't have to get too much into the foot fetish killer. I think I kind of get the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
mo.
yeah.
His
It was
mo.
more he was a shoe fetish killer.
Oh yeah, the shoe. You said that's so
Heels,
weird. Heels.
heels
Yeah,
specifically.
heels.
There's actually a darker meaning, like behind like why people are some people are into women that are wear high heels because like you know in the industry like they would be into like do you know these heel designers are mainly dominated by like male
Really?
designers. So these were like made from
From
men.
men,
Yeah,
like from the male perspective.
yeah, for like just their like appeal.
Yeah.
And so you know like it's like form like when you're wearing heels, like most of the time when you associate a woman wearing heels, it'll be like, oh my god, she's sexy, she's confident, she's
Yeah.
powerful. The darker meaning behind it, some why some men like it is because, and I quote, if I remember correctly, it's like it makes it easier for me to chase my prey
What?
because
Because they
you
can't run in heels.
yeah, I'm telling you right now I can run in heels.
Okay.
Catch me,
Well,
ho.
that's good to know.
But yeah,
I've never even tried walking in heels, so I wouldn't know.
I'll make you walk in heels one day. Well,
I bet I could do it.
yeah, I feel like you can do it. It's just you gotta put your mind to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's weird that they would make a shoe like that where you have to really think about how to even run in them.
Well, it's because like you stand differently when you wear heels. Actually,
Well,
you have a
I don't
different
understand why people
posture.
would want to do that. It feels so like it feels
Wearing
uncomfortable
heels.
having like my heel be above my entire foot and standing on that part. It just feels wrong. I don't even like to think about that.
I'm fine with it. I don't get uncomfortable. I can run and like do anything in heels
hmm
just fine. But yeah, so he would often like inform doctors. He worked night at night and required tablets to adjust to that schedule.
hmm
This will help him maintain an adequate supply of this medication in drugging his
The
his
people
partners.
because he like said he needed it for work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like he would always have like these sleep medications and
Yeah.
stuff. So the bathhouse membership he had at this certain bathhouse or like multiple bathhouses
Mhm.
was revoked over 12 times. So he
What?
began
They
yeah.
took it away from him 12 times.
Yeah, at that point like what happened
Yeah.
to
I don't understand how he can keep getting in there.
I don't even
And
know
what did
how
he
it's not
do?
getting unrevoked.
Did they say what he did? What he did to get it revoked?
It was because like he was like you know getting men into doing shit to them
Oh,
from
I
those
see.
bathhouses, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they like reported me like, hey,
Hey, this guy's being
this,
super gay.
well, they're
Get him out
gay
of here.
bathhouses though.
Oh, they're gay bathhouses. So it's
Oh
just like,
yeah,
oh, this guy's being
The-
too freaky.
yeah, I
This guy's
guess
being too
so.
weird.
I guess so. Oh, why you? Well, maybe it was like because back then it was really frowned upon to be gay and like shit. So like maybe that's why I didn't report it to police. Being hey,
Maybe.
and then Dahmer would just be like, "Oh shit, but he's gay though," and they'll be
Mhm.
like, "Oh shit, you're gay. I don't want to help you no more," because that can't
Maybe.
happen.
I hope that's not what happened.
Me neither. But this is back then we're talking
Yeah, that's
about.
true.
So, Dahmer started using hotel rooms to continue this practice
Mhm.
because he didn't have the bathhouses no more.
Right.
So, shortly after, his membership was revoked, he would read a report on the newspaper regarding a upcoming funeral of a 18-year-old male.
Mhm.
So, this is
Oh,
so
why?
nasty, bro. He would fantasize about the idea of stealing the corpse and taking it home. So, about that 18-year-old male's corpse,
Mhm.
right? So, he would actually attempt to dig up the coffin from the ground, but he found the soil was too hard and abandoned the plan. So, Lord knows what happened.
What would have happened if he had gotten there?
You'll see from like the crimes he does and what we would assume he would do.
Gotcha.
So on September 8th, 1986, he was arrested for the charge of lewd behavior for masturbating in front of two 12-year-old boys.
What?
So he would claim that he was urinating, unaware that there were witnesses, and then he later admitted to the offense. Right. So this,
Ew, dude, he's a scumbag. He's like a really gross, really.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, silly definitely doesn't describe him, dude. He's disgusting. He's very disgusting.
He is. He's like a freak of
Yes.
nature. So the charge would be changed to disorderly conduct, right? And
Mhm.
he would receive 1 year of uh probation. So this just means like he's doing community service work and shit
Yeah,
like that,
we'll
right?
slap on the wrist.
Yeah. So his let's get into his crimes. So his second murder. So his first murder, it was when he was, I believe, 18. Yeah, this was when he was 18, right? I don't know if you remember. It
Yeah,
was
when he was like when he turned 18, he just
yeah.
killed some.
A
Was his friend
No, it's hitchhiker
a hitchhiker?
named
Yeah.
Mark Hicks, right? So this is the second murder, right? This so he would, it was on November 20th, 1987. He
Mhm.
would encounter a 20-year-old man. Oh my god, it's so hard to look at my script. He would encounter a 25-year-old man from Michigan named Stephen Toomey. Yeah, Toomey at a bar. So Dahmer would persuade Toomey to go to a ambassador hotel where he rented the room for the event. So this happened around like actually 9 years after the first murder,
Right.
right? And it's a coincidence that Dahmer's next victim was also named Stephen because, um, I believe, yeah, I think I said his first one was named Stephen. Um, yeah, Stephen Mark Hicks was his first victim's the first victim's name. The
Yikes.
second one is named Stephen Toomey. So that's why I said Toomey because like
Mhm.
I'm saying the last name of most of these victims because a lot of them have like similar first names.
Really?
Yeah, I believe. I think this is this. I think there's another Stephen, but I could be wrong. So it's a coincidence, you know, that
Maybe.
they met, and so they were drinking at the hotel room, right?
Mhm.
And Dahmer would wake up to find Toomey lying beneath him in the bed on the bed with his chest, and I quote, crushed in and black and blue with bruises, and blood was seeping from the corner of his mouth. And Dahmer's fist and one of his forearms was extremely bruised.
Oh God.
Yeah, so Dahmer couldn't recall anything from the previous night, and he would later tell the police that he intended to drug Toomey and not kill him, and he couldn't believe this happened. Because he just wanted to lie beside him and explore his body, but since he had no recollection of that night, like now he can't.
Really?
That's
So
all he fucking cares about.
he just woke up and he was dead, beat up.
He was
That's
dead.
so weird.
Yeah.
Was he on drugs? Like did he ever say?
No, we don't know. Like he probably could have drank a lot too.
He could have just been lying, but I don't know why he would lie.
Because he doesn't lie about the other ones.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
weird.
Dauber would purchase a large suitcase in which he would transport Toomey's bodies to his grandmother's house. So he's still living with his grandma at this point. And he would bring Toomey to his grandmother's basement where Toomey would be dismembered a week later. So he was just sitting in the basement. And a week later, he got dismembered. Sorry. He would sever his head, arms, and legs, and he would fillet. So this is what you do to a fish.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you remove their bones.
Oh.
He would fillet his bones from his body, bro.
Like remove them all.
He removed all his bones.
I don't like to think of ribs and stuff.
So he would cut the flesh into pieces where they're small enough to handle. He would place the flesh inside these plastic garbage bags. He would wrap the bones inside a sheet and pound them to like smithereens with a little splinters to like with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
He would dismember. This dismemberment process took him over 2 hours, around or over. So he would, while doing this, he would masturbate to the corpse before disposing his remains. It is so sick and twisted. But 2 weeks later, Dahmer would keep Toomey's head wrapped in blankets, and then he would boil Toomey's head in a mixture of Soilex and bleach to retain the skull. So Soilex is an alkaline-based industrial detergent. Okay. And he would keep the skull as a stimulant for masturbation.
That's really gross.
Is so sick and twisted. I thought, so we talked about Ed Gein. Ed Gein was actually my first case I talked about. Ed Gein would keep skulls of women as like bowls.
Bowls?
Yeah.
Like to eat with?
I don't know if he ate out of those bowls, but like they were.
But they would be bowls. They were bowls. That's really weird.
I don't know what's worse.
It's kind of cool in a weird way.
But here's the thing: Ed Gein didn't kill those women. Ed Gein only actually killed 2 women.
He did?
Ed Gein was mainly known as a grave robber.
Oh, I see.
Do you know Leatherface?
Leatherface? No.
From like that movie, that one horror movie? No. Well, like those like Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those people are heavily inspired by Ed Gein.
Because he robbed so many graves and did weird stuff with
it. Was because of like his mentality and like how he did these crimes and like his backstory really inspired those movies. But
didn't know that. It's pretty cool.
So I don't know. Dahmer was like just freak. Oh my god. So he would later, because he bleached it, like this bleaching process, it made the skull become too brittle, and he would pulverize it and dispose of it because now it's like
I can't even use it.
Yeah, and it's so sick and twisted. Dahmer said that after Toomey's murder, his obsession with killing went into a full swing, and he didn't even try to stop it. And Dahmer would be actively seeking victims and encounter most of them around gay bars and typically lure them to his grandmother's house. So Dahmer would be drugging his victims with a trioxalim and a oh my god, I cannot even read the fucking
the phone. Tesmovalin?
Tesmazepam, right? Before or shortly after encountering in sexual activities with them. So once they were unconscious, Dahmer would like strangle them to death, right? So tesmazoline and tesmazepam are sedatives to help treat insomnia, right? So like those are the sleeping medications that like the doctors would be giving him,
right?
And so his third murder. 2 months after Toomey's murder, Dahmer meets a 14-year-old Native American prostitute. I don't know where you're getting a 14-year-old prostitute. I don't know why they exist. That is disgusting. But like, I understand if you have to be a prostitute.
Yeah, I'm sure that 14-year-old probably does not want to be a prostitute.
Yeah, but if you do, get help. Okay. That is not, it's not okay to be that young as a prostitute. If you're like over 18, you're an adult. That's fine. That's your job. You know, like if you enjoy it, go you girl. But
yeah, a 14-year-old's a little crazy. I think everyone can kind of agree on that, regardless of what you think of like age or consent. That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
Age of consent. Don't get me started on that shit. Anyways, so 2 months, like after this, he meets this 14-year-old, and his name is James Dos Dostandor,
Mm-hmm.
Tostador, right? And so Dahmer lured Dostador to his grandmother's house. This is gonna be a common thing. He
Mm-hmm.
would offer these people $50 for nude photo shoots. It's always $50 for some goddamn reason.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, "Hey, Dostandor, you want to come over? $50. You just gotta pose for nude photos.
Yeah.
Simple. This kid's a prostitute. He probably thinks that $50 back then, like $50 is probably a lot.
Yeah. $50 was a lot
Like
back then.
he would be like, "Oh shit, that's a
50 bucks is
lot
like
of money," and
120.
all I have to do is
Yeah.
pose
Pose.
naked.
Mm.
I don't have to like suck your dick or something.
Yeah. Something
Fuck.
worse.
So they would both later engage in sexual activity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Dahmer would drug Dosador and strangle him on the cellar floor. And Dahmer would leave his body in the cellar for 1 week before dismembering it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Why would he do that?
1 week. I forgot how like the what happens to your body after you.
Rigor mortis? Like you start
Oh
freezing up or something?
no, rigor mortis is not where you freeze up. Yes, your body is cold, but it becomes super stiff. But then it goes back to being limp,
Mm.
right? And so, Dahmer would I don't know if 1 week is enough to for that. It's been a while since I took forensics.
Mm-hmm.
So Dahmer would after that 1 week, how he would do it, he would place his body or remains like doing the same thing as he
Mm-hmm.
did to Timmy in a trash bag, but he would keep his skull and he would boil and bleach the skull again to clean it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And later on the skull would become brittle again and he would have to pulverize. Have to. What I mean, have to. He feels like he needs to. I'm not saying he had to
Yeah.
pulverize that skull because, oh my God. But like,
I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to do any. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to
yeah,
do
he
any of
did
that
not have
stuff.
to do any of this bullshit. Get help. But then back then, it was really frowned upon. It still is
Yeah.
to this day.
Well, I also just think that I don't think he cared. I don't think he wanted to get help.
He
I don't
did
think there
not.
was like any
He
world where he
did
was
not.
like, you know what, I'm gonna go to therapy and try to fix this. He didn't care.
He only cared about himself, and it was just it's disgusting. Like, yes, I approve of people that want to be selfish because yes, put yourself first, queen. But this is just this is where you have
I don't know.
absolutely no care for somebody.
I wonder. I genuinely think I find it really interesting how someone could have a brain like that, that would just let them do that. Because most people's brains just don't physically let them act how he does. So I want to know what it would be like for him to think about things. What he thought
Yeah,
of.
he probably has like a crazy chemical imbalance in his
Yeah,
brain.
something really is wrong.
So he would pulverize the skull 2 weeks later and dispose of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Dahmer on his fourth murder, it's gonna be March
Mm-hmm.
1988. Dahmer will meet a 22-year-old bisexual man named Richard Guerrero. Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Guerrero, outside a gay bar called Phoenix. Interesting gay bar name. Dahmer would lure Guerrero to his grandmother's house, saying he
Mm-hmm.
would pay him $50 to spend the night with him. This
50
is
bucks.
$50. You're gonna hear $50 a lot
Yeah.
to spend the night with them. So not like nude photos or anything.
Yeah, just spend the
So
night.
so he would drug Guerrero with sleeping pills and then strangle him with a leather strap, perform oral sex on his corpse.
Oh.
Yeah. Dahmer would dismember Guerrero's body within 24 hours this time, not a week,
Mm-hmm.
and dispose of the remains in the trash. He would keep his skull again, do the
Yeah.
same process, and then pulverize it several months later instead of like 2 weeks or a
Yeah.
day later. So on April 23rd, 1988, Dahmer would lure a Ronald Flowers Jr. to his grandmother's house.
Mm-hmm.
Dahmer would give Flowers a spiked coffee, and his grandmother was actually still home, right? And she'd call out, be like, "Is that you, Jeff?" And Dahmer would be like, reply in a manner that made his grandmother believe that he was alone, right?
Uh-huh.
And his grandmother would later find out that Dahmer was not alone. And because of this, Dahmer was not able to kill Flower. So Dahmer took Flower to the county
Mm-hmm.
general hospital,
I
right?
see.
So Dahmer's grandmother would ask on September 1988,
Mm-hmm.
ask Dahmer to move out, like get out,
Yeah, get out
bro,
of the ground. Yeah.
get
Because how
out.
old is he at this point?
Uh, 1988. He was born in 1930. No, 1960.
So
So
he's
20,
28
28,
years old.
28. Yeah, 28.
Okay, that's pretty old. He's about to be 30 years old.
So Dahmer's grandmother would ask Dahmer to move out
And Dahmer
because
politely would say, "Okay, yes, I will," and he politely moved out like a good grandson.
so she said it was because of his drinking,
Mm-hmm.
his habits of bringing young men to her house late at night,
Yeah,
like that 14-year-old,
yeah, that's really weird.
and the foul smells coming from the basement and garage. So those foul smells were obviously the smells of
Of people rotting
decomposing bodies and
stuff.
dismembering and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So Dahmer would later find a 1 bedroom apartment to stay in on September 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So on September,
I'm
so
glad he did not kill the grandma.
no, he doesn't. So this is the same month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dahmer will be arrested for drugging and sexually fondling with a 13-year-old
Dude,
boy.
how does he not go to jail for life for any of these things?
I don't fucking know.
And why is this grandma not calling the police? Or why does he let him bring so many men? Anyway, there's so many questions. Why?
Because I don't know if you remember, but she's known as a really sweet person.
Oh yeah,
So she probably this is her kid, her grandkids. So she didn't
yeah.
want to.
I can understand that.
So Dahmer would claim that he wanted to take nude photos of him, right? And he would be charged with sexual exploitation,
Exploitation of a minor.
yeah, and second-degree sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
And he pled guilty, claiming that the boy appeared much older.
Yeah, what? That's insane. That's an insane thing to say.
Do you know To Catch a Predator?
Yes, of course I know that show. That shows. I think everyone's
You
seen
know,
it.
actually, Maria doesn't know about that show.
Miranda, really?
Maria.
Oh, Maria does. Oh, well, yeah, Maria doesn't know about any show though.
Yeah. So this statement, when I read that, I was like, oh my god, this is from How to Catch a Predator,
Yeah.
To Catch a Predator. Like it's a show on NBC. Well, it stopped airing. And it was hosted by Chris Hansen, my king, and dude, and Chris Hansen was known for the famous lines of "Have a seat."
Yeah.
Take a seat. He had so much power for some reason. Like the moment he walks in, be like, have a seat.
Yeah, because
The
other
predators
person immediately
I'm
sit
sat,
down. Yeah, they're
I'm
sat down
I'm
instantly.
I'm sat, yes. And this sounds like something I would hear from those shows. Be like, they look so much older than they say they were.
Yeah,
I just had to come over and see it for myself. I'm here to watch football with her.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of that show because I can't stomach stuff like that. Like I can't imagine being in that situation or
It's
I don't know, just
disgusting.
yeah, it's really gross and it's just I don't know, man. But good for Chris Hansen.
Oh,
Good
no.
on him.
Yeah, Chris Hansen is.
Somebody's got to do it.
just a beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting my water.
He gets involved anytime a YouTuber is called out for being a pred, he gets involved. Like when Onision was happening.
Oh yeah. So okay, he would be trialed on May 1989. Dahmer would be tried for child molestation, right?
Mhm.
And he argued in his defense how I've seen the errors of my ways, and
Mhm.
this arrest marked a turning part of my life. You can't do this to me.
Yeah.
This is giving Chris Hansen once again. I will never do this again, bro.
Yeah.
I swear, it's
I'm
the
so
first
sorry.
time. It's the first time I do this.
And last time, man. You won't see me here again.
Shows up once again.
Yeah.
So, he would argue. His defense counsel will argue that he needs treatment,
Mm-hmm.
not incarceration. So this means they want him to go get treatment instead of going into prison.
Yeah,
right?
mental health.
Yeah, and so the judge would, for some goddamn reason, agree to this.
Jesus.
Yeah, and
This is what I mean. So many of these stories of serial killers, there's so many times where they just get absurdly lucky. And
this
they just
is
get
why
out of
I feel like
situations.
our justice system has failed us, and it still is.
Yeah, because
They're going way too light on him.
Yeah.
And so they would release him on a 1-year prison sentence on day release, along with 5 years of probation, right? Okay. So day release, this would allow Dahmer to work during the day, but he had to return to prison at night.
Okay, for a year.
For a year. And so, 2 months before this conviction, right?
Mhm.
And 2 months, um, no, 2 months after his conviction and 2 months before his sentencing,
Right.
Dahmer would meet a 22 mixed race aspiring model named Anthony Sears.
Mhm.
And Dahmer met Sears at a gay bar on March 25th, 1989.
Mhm.
And Dahmer said he was not looking to commit a crime, but however, before that closing that evening, Sears just started, and I quote, talking to me.
Mhm.
I don't know what. We'll get into it. Dahmer would lure Sears to his grandmother's house,
Mhm.
where the pair engaged in oral sex before Dahmer drugged and strangled Sears. This following morning, Dahmer would place the corpse in his grandmother's bathtub, where he decapitated Sears' body before attempting to flay the corpse. So flay is where you try to peel the skin off the
Oh
corpse.
God.
So he would skin his corpse, and Dahmer would strip the flesh from Sears' body and pulverize his bones, which he disposed of in the trash. Dahmer said that he found Sears particularly attractive and later said he didn't want to lose him. So Sears would be the first victim that Dahmer would preserve his body for long periods of time, and Sears' head and genitalia were mummified and stored in wooden boxes. And when Dahmer moved, he would take these remains with him.
Jesus. He did this while he was in
And this
supposed to be in
and
jail.
original no, this is before the sentencing. The before so
Oh,
when
okay.
he got okay, this is
2 months
when he
previous to
two
getting.
months before his conviction
Yeah, he did
and
this.
2 months before no, 2 months after his conviction and
Mhm.
2 months before his sentencing.
Okay.
He did this during that time.
Yikes.
Ain't no fucking way, bro. And so, um, what Dahmer he he like I said earlier, he was not looking to commit a crime. It was because Sears just talked to him.
He thought he was hot, so he killed him.
I don't know, like just because he talks to him. It's so sick thinking about it. Like just because like someone's talking to you, like you think this is okay. Well, none of this is obviously
Yeah.
okay, right? But
But
like
like the reasoning there is just like so nonchalant.
nonchalant.
Yeah.
They just started talking to me, bro. Like
Yeah.
it is just sick. So after his sexual assault sentencing, a year later in an interview, his father would state that he wrote a letter to the court that issued the sentence requesting psychological help before his son's parole, and Dahmer would be granted early release by the judge, only serving 10 months of his sentence. 10 months, right? And he would be evaluated it would be evaluated that
Mhm.
Dahmer is an impulsive individual.
Mhm.
Like for example, like earlier at the club, he talked to me. Now I want to kill him.
Yeah. And he
He
just
followed
doesn't
those
think.
impulses.
Yeah.
Yes. And he tends to be suspicious of others and dismayed with his lack of accomplishments in his life.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why he cared about that.
I, th- I think he's just really self-centered, that like he needs to be better, like I
Yeah.
am better, I should be better or something. Maybe that's what I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Right, so Dahmer's probation officer would diagnose Dahmer to be suffering from a schizoid personality disorder, right?
Mhm.
And he would be released and briefly live with his grandmother once again.
Again? No, dude, not the grandma.
And no, wait, no. This was he would live with his grandmother before she kicked him out, I believe.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. And so during this time, he doesn't appear to like have
Done anything
add.
really?
He didn't. It didn't seem like he added to his body count
Mhm.
before moving into his apartment. Right. So the sixth murder is Ramond Smith. He was a 32-year-old prostitute who Dahmer lured into his apartment with $50 for sex. What? I don't know what it is with them with this
Yeah.
$50. What is
I mean,
$50 back then worth
$50 back then
now?
is 120.
Oh, how you know? You know?
Well, I'm assuming it's 1990. It's about that. Wait, no, maybe not 120. I kind of want to look it up now.
Look it up on your phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be 19 like uh Yeah, 1990 now. Yeah.
$50 in 1950 in today's money. Dude, $50. Oh wait, no, that's 19. It's 1990, not 1950. Yeah, 120.
120. Shit,
Yeah, I
you
was
got it
exactly
right.
right. Yeah, it's literally not 120 and 62 cents.
120 for sex.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's fucking crazy. Well, I don't know, like, prostitution rates and prices. You know, I don't have OnlyFans or anything, so I don't know anything
Yeah.
about this.
Well, 120 for like nude photos seems
Yeah,
amazing.
it's like
That's
crazy.
peak.
Like,
I would totally do that.
so you totally.
100%. 120? Yes, bro.
I can't believe. I can't. I just can't. I can't physically make myself do it. But
Not
I'm
for
also
120?
I'm with someone right now, and so like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
no, I can't do it. That's me personally.
2000.
2000. 2000.
Yeah.
I have to talk to him about that.
Okay.
Oh, I'll think about it. That's what I'll think
10,
about it.
10K.
Ooh, you're fishing a
$10,000
hard
is
bargain.
$10,000. I think, in my opinion, you'd have to be a lunatic to not take $10,000
I have to
for
talk
that.
to, I have to talk to, I gotta talk
Yeah.
to my mans about this. Be like, hey, 10K. This dude wants a picture of my hoo ha.
Yeah. For 10K, that just seems like a good deal, honestly. But that's just me.
Ooh, don't play.
Okay, anyway,
So yeah, he would. What the
also,
hell? I can't
dude,
read.
I have to drop off my friend like at work. Do you think we could be done by 1:30 perchancely?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perchancely.
Yeah.
Perchance.
I don't like saying for chance because I think of Family Guy.
Perchance.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't
Okay,
worry about it.
cool.
So I guess we're just gonna watch this be a 4-parter.
No, dude, there's no way.
So we're not even. We're like kind of halfway there.
Okay.
But like, he would give Raymond a drink laced with 7 sleeping pills. I don't know how strong these sleeping pills are, but they're for people with insomnia, right? So this is
Yeah.
not like our melatonin gummies.
Yeah, it's like meant to knock you out.
This is supposed to meant you. Yes. So and then he would strangle him, right?
Yeah.
And Dahmer would buy. This is where the joke on TikTok back then of like, I just want to take some pictures, came from.
Oh, that's a really
He
weird
was
thing.
talking about Dahmer. So he would buy a Polaroid camera
Mhm.
to take several pictures of Raymond's body, post it in posing it in suggestive positions,
Mhm.
and Dahmer would then dismember Raymond in the bathroom and boil his legs and arms and pelvis in a steel kettle with Soilax, which is a cleaner,
Uh-huh.
and he would rinse his bones in his sink, just like
Cleaning it up
like just like
like
kind
Gordon Ramsay
no, like just like wiping the meat off his bones, like just like kind of like
to make it clean.
like a chicken, like just
Yeah.
like pop the bones and meat out,
Yeah.
like that. It oh my god, I can't even. And he would dissolve the remainder of Smith's skeleton in excluding his skull in the container filled with acid, right?
Mhm.
And he would I can't even. He would spray paint his skull and place it along the skull of Sears in a filing cabinet. Like nothing. Like he just didn't care.
Yeah, it was like a prank. It's like
He's
that,
not real.
It's like when he was a kid and he killed the dog and he told his friend like, "Look what I found." So now it's a human person and he's spray painting it and then putting it somewhere random. Imagine being a kid and you find that.
I just can't. It's just disgusting. It's really disgusting, bro. I can't. So, a week after, this murder, on May 21st,
Mhm.
he would lure another young man into his apartment. He accidentally consumed the drink laced with sedatives that were intended for this dude.
What?
Knock out cold, wake up and discover that several items of clothing, $300, and his watch was stolen.
No.
And he never reported this incident.
Why that makes sense. Because he'd be like, "What
He
is he
got
supposed to say?
robbed, bro.
Hey, excuse me, officer." It's like, Well, I mean, I guess he could have technically, but I understand why he wouldn't have talked to the officers.
Also, there's also fucking. Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad he got robbed. Good for that one guy. Imagine being the guy who robbed Jeffrey Dahmer. Like he was going to kill and murder
and you
you.
see him on the news being, oh shit, I robbed that dude.
I robbed that dude cold, ice cold. And then you find out what he did, and then realize. Imagine being the guy, and because they definitely know,
scary.
like that guy
He
who
could've-
robbed him definitely knows who he is.
And he could have been like, he drank that drink that I was supposed to drink that night.
Yeah.
If he remembers
Dude,
that.
you would never. Nobody would ever believe you though. Like if you were that guy and you told it to people, nobody would believe you. I wouldn't believe someone that came up to me and told me, "Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer, I survived him. I was the guy that he messed up on." I wouldn't believe him. That sucks. That's like being the guy that killed. What's the guy that did 9/11?
I don't know. I'm not really.
Imagine it's like the guy who killed that guy. Nobody would believe. Like it's like a random SEAL Team 6 guy that nobody knows. Anyway, keep going.
So the seventh murder was on June 1990, right? And Dahmer would lure a 27-year-old acquaintance named Edward Smith into his apartment where he was drugged and strangled, right? So
They
instead
all have
of
the most basic white guy names: Edward Smith, Johnson Jackson. Who was the first one? Kevin, Stephen, Stephen something, Stephen Smith.
sixth one was Raymond Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the fifth one was Anthony Sears. The fourth one, Richard Gurrow, right?
Yeah, they all just have like white guy names.
And then we got James Dostero. All right. So moving on, right? This is the seventh murder. So this was an acquaintance, by the way, right?
Oh, that's stood up. SPD or schizoid personality disorder. It usually comes about in early adulthood, which probably that sounds about right because when he started to become 18, he started killing people.
Yeah, around like when he was
18, 23.
No, 18, because his first murder was when he was 18, and it was like.
That's when he started to get crazy.
Yeah.
Schizo. Anyway, keep going. Sorry, what were you saying?
So instead of acidifying the skeletons or repeating the previous process of bleaching, which rendered the previous victim's skull brittle, he would place Edward's skull in the freezer for several months, and this was in hopes that it would not retain moisture for some reason. That's so weird. It's a weird way to put it, like, because when you freeze something, there's ice around it.
Yeah.
Or like if you or frost burns, right? Sometimes if you leave it for too long, and that's water.
Yeah. That's just weird. Maybe I don't know.
Put it in. Well, I don't know if
maybe he knew what he was doing.
Maybe back then they didn't have those dehydrators.
Yeah, that they could just put it in.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So this was in hopes that it would not retain moisture, and freezing the skeleton did not remove the moisture. His skeleton would be acidified several months later, and so he tried drying his skull in the oven before, after taking it out of the freezer, and it would explode. So he accidentally destroyed Edward's skull, and he would later tell the police, and I quote, he felt rotten about Edward's murder because he was unable to keep anything from his body, making it feel like a true waste.
I mean, I can understand from his perspective why that would make sense. It just sounds really absurd, but
But it's, oh my god.
Yeah.
I think I forget that he literally said
evilness.
I literally forget that he said that he can't see people as people anymore. He only sees them as
objects of pleasure. He doesn't care.
Damn, did you sleep, bruh?
Kind of.
I want you to know you're out of frame.
Oh, sorry.
You've been out of frame for a while, and I look over.
I'm sorry, because I kept leaning back on the wall. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe do you want to see? I don't usually lean back.
I see.
Next time you'll have the seat.
Thank you.
Yes, bro. I hate that seat too when I want to lean on something. So basically, he. I don't know what's up with these killers wanting to keep these grotesque trophies.
Yeah, the trophies.
Like
the remembrance.
Yeah, because last case and the case before, they kept grotesque trophies. Ed Gein, he kept. How do I word this? He kept a box of vaginas.
That's super gross. I don't want to. Oh God.
Last case, he kept a stuffed breast,
Breast.
like a woman's breast.
I see.
I see. You're like covering
Because
Tofa.
I don't like to think of my chest being cut off.
Oh, that's a woman breast.
Yeah, but like I just don't want like to think of anyone's like I can't think of knife and skin and it just seems so gross.
Oh yeah, I get exactly what you mean. So after 3 months after the murder of Edward Smith,
Hmm.
he would meet a 22 Chicago native named Ernest Miller
Hmm.
outside a bookstore on the corner of North 27th Street. So Dahmer would lure Miller to his apartment and ask him to listen. It's so weird.
$50 to
Listen
hang
to
out.
my heart and stomach for $50. Girl, Bob, what does that mean? Listen to my heart and stomach?
Yeah.
So, um, Dahmer said would try to perform oral sex on Miller, and Miller said that's gonna cost you extra, little bro.
Oh, really?
And Dahmer would be like, "Oh shit, really? Okay, here, have a drink first."
Uh,
Laced with 2 sleeping pills.
why
By
do
the
people
way,
keep accepting drinks from this guy?
I didn't know him back then. But
I
like, so I
guess.
wouldn't like
I wouldn't. I don't take drinks from like
strangers.
yeah, just like a straight up glass of something random.
Yeah. So stay hydrated. Um, he would slash his cardio
Cardiovascular nerve. Cardiovascular.
cardi. Okay, how you spell that? Say that. Car T
Carotid artery.
carotid artery. Yep, that one. So
Yeah.
the one on your neck,
Yeah, the
right?
big one.
So like I think is it this one
I'm not
or
too
like
sure.
or right
I think it's
here?
on your left side.
Right here. I don't know. Well, we know he slashes
Yeah.
somewhere on his neck, right? He slits his neck, which um the same knife he uses to like dismember and dissect his victim's body, right?
Hmm.
And Miller would bleed to death within minutes. And Dahmer would then pose Miller's nude body for in various poses for photographs. He would place his body in his bathtub. Oh, sorry for
Mm.
dismembering. So Dahmer would repeatedly kiss and talk to his severed head while dismembering the remainder of his body. Dahmer would wrap Miller's heart, liver, biceps, and portions of flesh from from his legs in
Mhm.
plastic bags and place them in the freezer for later consumption. So this is where
He was gonna, yeah, that's
cannibalism
when he
played
started
into
eating
play.
people.
Yes. Dahmer would boil the remaining flesh and organs into a, and I quote, jelly-like substance using soylax. So this helps raises the flesh off the skeleton. So this is where he would just
Clean it. Yeah.
off the. Oh, I don't like that sound effect. Like,
Yeah. No, you don't need.
I just imagine like a chicken wing, someone just pushing the bone
Yeah,
out.
the bone
Ugh. Like it's like your leg or something. So he would place the bones in a light bleached solution to preserve the skeleton for over 24 hours before allowing them to dry on a cloth for 1 week. And the
It
several
sounds like we're both really tired. What time did you go to bed?
I went to bed really early.
Really?
I was really tired. I was waiting for my boyfriend to call me
Oh, I see.
to sleep.
Uh huh.
And I texted him, I'm gonna go to bed, but call me to wake me up.
Mhm. Did he?
The night before,
Uh huh.
I didn't get any sleep. I got like 2 hours. So that's just this is my body trying to get the sleep that I missed out.
Yeah.
So I was in deep sleep. I did not. He called me 4 times.
Really?
I
And you?
felt so
No,
bad.
that's
And he
horrible.
left me a voicemail being like, "Hey Lucy, I think you're asleep,
Uh huh.
but sleep well." I
Wow,
was
that's
like-
really nice. Okay.
And this
Yeah.
is a little cute part in our true crime. But yeah,
Well,
I
that's
felt
good.
so bad. I texted him, like, oh my god, I'm
I'm
so
so sorry.
sorry.
I was knocked out.
He's probably glad I knocked out cold. Because I was gonna have another all nighter because I was gonna work more on the script.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted it to be perfect, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. I am like
You need to
tired.
sleep. You probably a good call, honestly.
Yeah, so I slept. I slept quite bad. My back hurts like crazy.
How long did you sleep?
I texted him like literally right when I was going to sleep. I texted him at 12.
Mm.
So I woke up. I got 9 hours of sleep.
That's pretty good.
9 to 10 hours of sleep.
I don't
So
remember how much I got. I think like 8 hours at least. Hopefully.
so yeah, popping out bones, right?
Popping out bones.
So his severed head was initially placed in the refrigerator before being stripped of the flesh, and then it would be painted and coated with enamel.
Enamel?
Yeah.
You know the stuff they use for teeth? That's weird. Okay.
They used to help preserve it, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
So on September 24th, 1990, 3 weeks after murder of Miller, like he was on a streak. Like this is what they mean. So there's a difference between mass murderers and serial killers. Serial killers are like, I think serial killers are like over time. Mass murderers are like bam, bam,
Yeah,
bam,
like
bam, bam, bam,
at
bam.
once. Yeah.
Or at once too. I could be wrong, or it's the other way around. I can't remember. There's a difference apparently. And so, after the murder of Miller, Dahmer would encounter a 22-year-old father of two named David Thomas at Grand Avenue Mall.
Another white
A
guy name.
father. Obviously, Dahmer didn't know he was a dad, but like, fuck.
He could have.
He had 2 kids.
He very easily could have known he was a father.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe because like he had a wedding ring or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I hope he didn't. I don't know if that would make it better.
If he didn't have a wedding ring.
Well, I just mean like if he didn't know that he was a father. Do you think he would have cared? If he probably not. I don't think it would have mattered to him.
Cared, dude. He killed kids. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's true actually.
And aspiring models and shit. He did
Yeah.
not give a fuck. So Donald would persuade Thomas to return to his apartment for a few drinks with an additional money offer on for posing for photographs. Let me guess, 50 bucks, 50 bucks, 50 whammy.
Right.
And so
Pretty good, 120.
Dahmer would give Thomas a drink laced with sedatives, and he would later lose interest in Thomas, right? And so Dahmer was afraid of Thomas waking up and being angry for being drugged. So he would strangle Thomas and dismember his body with no interest in keeping any body parts.
Really?
Yeah. And so Dahmer would photograph the dismemberment process and keep these photos. And these photos will help us be able to identify Thomas later on. So Dahmer wouldn't kill anyone for almost 5 months. And around 5 occasions between this time period, he would unsuccessfully attempt to lure men into his apartment, and he would regularly complain about feeling anxiety and depression and harboring suicidal thoughts during this time period.
Because he couldn't get any men to come in so he could kill?
Yeah. So
I guess that upsets him. That makes him sad.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop us right here because it is almost your time to vanish. So
thanks for having me on once again.
You're gonna come back again next week. So that is the second part of our 3-parter on Jeffrey Dahmer, and we are actually getting a little bit closer to finishing it. So all right, thank you guys.
Peace out, fellas.
Bye.
Bye.